because for the most part, the terrain theory people, what they're pointing out is that what they're saying how it works isn't true. We're not saying that we know exactly how this works. We're saying that that's not how it works, and we should look into it further, not like this is the end of it. And that's why I love these people so much, like, Sophia and Alex Zek, and then, I watch like Thomas Cowan videos and Andrew Kaufman, is they're going like, we know this is wrong. And this is what everyone is saying, but we know this is wrong because it doesn't hold up. If it doesn't hold up, then there has to be something else there. And so when people go, oh, if this isn't getting you sick, then what is it? And you go, well, I don't know exactly, but I don't have to have, if you tell me that like the rain is caused by like magical flying elephants or something, and they go, well, oh, you don't have something, you don't know what else is up there. It's like, yeah, but you don't have any evidence that there's magical flying elephants, so maybe let's work on something else. And so, I'm, like I said, I tend to be an extremist, and I tend to just be willing to try things and jump into things because I don't really know how to not do that. And so, I was like, okay, now I'm just gonna eat all raw now. And I was never concerned about raw milk. I was just like, yeah, why would you need to do something to milk to drink it? Every animal, has their milk like straight from the teat. And I was always fine with raw eggs. And, it's funny, when I was doing raw organs all the way, like way back when, I looked at it like, okay, I'm eating organs for their micronutrients. I'm eating this liver because it has all these micronutrients in it. It has vitamin A and zinc and copper. And at the time I didn't really even know what was in liver. I just like knew, okay, liver's good for you. And so I already understood, well, if you're cooking it, you're destroying the nutrients. But then when I was eating just like raw muscle meat or something, my perspective was more, oh, I'm just really eating this for fat and protein, and thinking that it wasn't like being, denatured by the cooking process. And so when I sort of kind of looked at this kind of bacterial paradigm a little differently, and I went, okay, look, like I'm just going to eat everything raw and I'll see what happens. And like, if I get sick, I probably won't die. And if I die, then like, look, I could die doing anything. I've gotten terrible food poisoning from eating cooked food before. So like, what is really like I don't know. I just like, I don't, if it makes sense to me, then that's just what I'm going to do. And so I started eating all the raw meat. And then, if Audra says like, yeah, eat raw chicken too. It's like, yeah, sure. Why not? And I ate raw chicken, and like everyone freaked out. Like my friends are calling me like, dude, what is wrong with you? And the video I posted got reposted on some account with like millions of followers. And everyone in there was like, he gonna die. Like, you ever heard of salmonella? Like all this stuff. And they all just assume that I'm dead. I'm like, no, I'm still here. And so like, okay, just looking from the like kind of bacterial perspective, if all this stuff was so terrible, then wouldn't all these terrible things just be happening to me? Like, and it's, if that's not holding up, then there's clearly something else at play here. And then obviously like with what's going on in the world with this, like, global pandemic, as they call it, and you start looking into these other elements and you go, okay, like why does the body do what it does? Why does the body do anything? And we go, okay, well, obviously our body wants to be healthy, because if it didn't, then, no organism would really be thriving or be successful. And so, okay, our body is trying to do the right thing. Okay, that's a point that I'm at. And then you think and you go, okay, why would my body do these things that we call being sick? And then you think, okay, well, if I get sick and I sneeze, if I get sick and I cough, if I get sick and I vomit, if I get sick and I have diarrhea, if I get, a fever and I'm sweating a lot, all of those things are my body getting rid of stuff. All those things are my body expelling things from its system. It must want to do that, right? It doesn't mean that like getting sick is just like the best thing ever, but everyone knows that they ate something and it was kind of funky, and they, that feeling when you go, I don't want to throw up, but I know if I throw up, I'll feel better. And you throw up and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. And you're just like, oh, I'm just going to let it happen. You throw up and you feel better. That should be a really clear sign that you feel better because you did something good. Right now, eating the thing that was bad, that might have not been good, but then getting rid of it is good. And so if things that our body registers as bad are finding their way into our system, then they have to get out somehow. And when that kind of really clicked, then you start looking at like every single thing that the body does that we consider to be uncomfortable, less than ideal, and you go, okay, our body's like literally trying to save us every second of every day.
Yeah. Everything, that our body experiences is, that we label as symptoms is our body trying to heal and get rid of something. Like even a cough, when you think about, okay, break it down. What's a cough? So we cough, we bring energy and blood to our lungs to kind of get rid of something, get something moving, maybe cough up some phlegm. And I do fully believe that a flu expression with, heating up with the fever and creating mucus, that we're getting rid of dead and decaying matter from our body, maybe damaged DNA, toxins, and I believe that viruses are that we make them inside of us and they come out of us, and they're just genetic debris. Yeah. So when you look at the body in just a really logical, reasonable way, it starts to make sense. And yeah, a lot of things you said there. Something I wanted to comment on, with terrain models starting to gain more attention and with many more people questioning germ theory, we're guessing. We have some information, of course, but we don't have our elders and a whole line of people to pass down this information to us. We have definitely have a few authors that wrote some incredible books. But yeah, so we're really we're questioning things. We're talking about it. We're having conversations. We are creating new, getting really sharp on our definitions, which is something that Raw Milk and Honey speaks about. And I think that's a really important thing. But yeah, we have to start having these conversations, even if we don't have the entire picture, right away, all at once. We have to start talking about it, about all the holes in germ theory, and start, bringing them to light. Like one thing, for instance, is E. coli, right? I'm reading Don Lester and David Parker's book, What Really Makes You Ill, Why Everything You Thought You Knew About Disease is Wrong. And in here he says E. coli exists in the intestines of healthy people.
Oh yeah, we all have E. coli in us right now, and if we didn't, we'd be really unhealthy.
Right. Yeah, like it has a function, and it's like, but these people, they're healthy and they have the E. coli germ, the bacteria in them, but it's not causing disease. So right there, that's Koch's first postulate, that if the germ is the disease causer and healthy people can have it and not experience disease, then the germ is not the cause. Something else is the cause. So it's just, yeah, like just needing to have conversations about this and bring things to light. And yeah, we might get things wrong here and there, but we're all supporting each other on this journey to unraveling germ theory.
Well, I mean, that's what this is supposed to be, is our attempt to learn things in this journey of discovery, and that should be facilitated, and it should be those paths should be open, and people should be kind of allowed to talk about that and question these things. And whenever things become unquestionable, like that's when we stop getting closer to truth. And so to have, obviously think about all the people who have gotten banned off of social media for talking about these things, right? They talk about, there's I think they have it like a dirty dozen of like what they call like anti-jab people that like, they just all get taken off of everything.
The disinformation dozen.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And so, it's like, and it's very possible, and I would even say like it's almost certain that all these people are getting things wrong. But everything else that is the accepted thing, they're also getting wrong. And so, but they only allow, you know, a certain angle to be said and shared. And they only allow, like, they don't, that's totally fine to be wrong as long as it fits into this certain category. And then they can change their mind whenever they want. And then they never actually say they were wrong. They just sort of somehow change it and try to just ignore the fact that they were wrong over there. But, you know, we or anyone could be saying all these things which have tons of truth to them. And whether or not they even pick on the thing, whether or not it's actually wrong, they just say, we say this is wrong, and so we're going to remove you. And so if you don't allow that conversation to flow, and for people to question things and to allow that, you know, path of discovery, then we're not getting closer to truth.